posted so far, but
On a good roll.
on a good roll. There, that's a much better. And Federer's on the roll right now with a break and working his way through this rack. These two are no strangers to each other. They know each other well. They've played in the head-to-head analysis. Federer defeated Oscar 7-0 at the Brendan Crockett Memorial at Hard Times. And then they had a Salado match, race to 15, and Federer won that 15-6.
Yeah, they know each other.
Yeah.
For a long time, and we know Oscar for a long time. He's a really nice guy, and I remember him from coming to Kremlin Cup, and then we played Dream Challenge. It's a Russian team versus American team, Mosconi Cup format, and I was part of that team, so we know Oscar quite well.
He takes you guys out to dinner when you're at Hard Times.
Yeah.
Doesn't he? Yeah, he does. And I believe this is one of the first times we've had a player's partner in the booth with us.
10 ball for the first track of this match.
And that's a break and one run for Fedor GORST. Dwayne Payne, our referee, to rack the balls. There's no early 10s, and there's no 10s on the break. There is a 3-foul rule. They are playing WPA rules, which for many of you out there, they don't have to really call obvious shots.
But to avoid any unpleasant situations, it's always better to call and make sure that referee or your opponent heard it.
Yeah, anytime there's a call, you want to let them know. They're on a 30-second time clock, which I don't think either one will have much of a problem with. They have 60 seconds after the break and 1 extension per game per player.
Federer was practicing this break for a long time, trying to master making this one ball in a side every time he breaks. Was close. Still made ball on the break, and open table again with a very clear shot on the one.
You know, I've been noticing, Christina, a lot of the other players too, when they send the one ball to the side like that, it's followed by another ball right to it, and it's either one or the other that goes in.
Yeah. So if you make a good hit, then you're very fortunate to make a ball on the side.
Now this has opened up rather nice for Federer.
Very nice, and I think he's looking at right now how to get to the 2 ball, sorry. It's either playing 2 rails with a little bit of inside spin, or play past the 9 using only 1 rail.
A lot of times they like to use that second side rail just to control the speed better. He's going to come back up for it.
Oh, he doesn't like slow roll shots.
Okay.
That's something
See?
he hates, so he would rather play something like that.
You know, you can shoot much more accurately with a full stroke like that.
Yeah.
Especially cut shots.
But I would definitely shoot it differently. Well, that's why he's there and I'm here.
Well, Federer is, he's got quite a resume, folks. I mean, how many players can come in here at 22 years of age and say they've been to Derby City 2 years in a row and they've come back with master of the table twice?
Yeah, it's
that's a big one.
It's very good results.
He's actually played 8 events in the Pro Billiard Series, which culminate into this event, this big WPA World 10 ball. And on those 8 events, he has cashed every time. He won twice in Arizona and once in Ohio in 2021 and 2022. Steep cut here on the 8, on the 5, probably running into the 8. It's going to leave him the 6 ball for the side pocket. The only thing that can go wrong here is to kiss off the 8 and go to the side pocket.
Yeah. But I think it's a pretty thin cut, and the 1 ball pretty naturally going to the 8 to stop the cue ball.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to hit that 8 pretty full. He's going to have to hit it a little. There, nicely done. And we'll
watch that 8 ball.
He's watching it very carefully, because did it tie up on the 10? It gives him a little bit of a fit, but it looks very makeable. But as we know, those little close combinations can be touchy.
Yeah, you don't want to have any problems on the table, really.
Yeah, he would have liked to seen that 8 ball open up.
Exactly. But
stuff
as
happens.
You said, yeah, as you said, it's pretty makeable combination. It's the matter of controlling the 8 ball after he makes it, because 10 ball is going to be spotted back. No early 10 balls.
Look how nice he comes back for the save with a perfect angle to hit it, and just do what he has to do with the cue ball. Unfortunately, this cue ball is going to stay on the bottom rail, and the 8 ball is going to come up a little bit. So it all depends how he shoots this to control the 8 and control the cue ball.
Maybe he's going to shoot low, just to make sure he brings the cue ball off the rail. Not sure.
Yeah, it was hard to get the cue ball off the rail. Now he's faced with a pretty steep cut here, and
he used his extension already.
Even very top players hesitate at the sight of this shot.
Yeah, it's not the most pleasant shot. I'd say this is the most hate shots.
The shot you hate, you play the least. Yeah, it's a long cut down the rail. The good thing is that the cue ball, well, see, he's close to the rail, so he has to cue it on top, which means the cue ball could travel towards that side pocket and be dangerous. And he traveled above it just to make sure. And looking like he's going to secure another break and run. Oscar hasn't left his chair.
Well, it's not over yet, but looks pretty easy to me. 9 ball inside, 10 ball in the corner for the 2-0 lead.
And more importantly, 2 break and runs in a row.
Yeah.
Complete control.
He played yesterday with a Japanese player, and he, I think, broke and run at least half of the set. He really mastered this break and controlling 1 ball going inside and having pretty open, spreaded balls on the table.
Well, that says quite a bit, because this is our 3rd day now with the World 10 ball, and the referees racking the balls. And break and runs, we've seen 2, possibly 3 in a couple of matches, and that's the most we've seen. And now, if you're saying that, yesterday in one of his matches, at least 4 of them, we've seen 2 now. This tells me that Federer's breaking the balls very well, and you alluded to it early and said he's been working hard on this break.
I think our scorekeeper mixed it up the score a little bit. They're definitely not polished players.
It's okay, we have the score for you, folks. It's 2-0. Fedor GORST over Oscar Dominguez. 3 ball. The 1 ball goes high. The 3 ball. Which ball went in?
5 ball.
The 5 ball. Okay.
Very unfortunate for 7 ball to stop right in front of the cue ball. So he's looking at the push out now. Maybe trying to tie 10-8, leaving the cue ball on the bottom rail.
So you're thinking he may tie up the 8 ball. A jump shot there would be awfully difficult because it's a thin cut. If you push to a jump, doesn't have to push to a jump. Let's see what he teases Oscar with.
Yeah, because if he is going to leave the cue ball just on the bottom rail, I believe there's quite a simple defense shot to send the cue ball behind. Can't really see which ball was over there. Show us the table.
Yeah, he's got 60 seconds after the break.
Behind 3 and 9. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. He has plenty of time to think.
Well, it's. Oh.
You're ready, sir. Push. Push. Okay.
I'll try to tie it up 8 and 10.
And Oscar's first trip to the table with a thin cut on the 1, probably a safety behind the 9.
Yes, that's most likely he's going to shoot this way, unless he will come up with something more creative than our option.
He could possibly be trying to go down towards that 8-10 and create a lot of distance, but that's going to leave the 1 ball over the pocket. So let's see what Oscar does here. He does go, well, he got the 3 ball. He's left the jump shot. Fedor quick to go to the jump cue.
And he changed his mind for 2 rails kick, trying to create some distance between the cue ball and 1 ball. If, of course, he hits it well.
I like this to create distance. I also like the jump and banking it to where he's at. But look at, ooh, it's going to catch the 6 ball. But this is a tough shot. If he cuts it to the right-hand pocket, he's got to contend with the corner on the bottom, and vice versa.
Maybe he'll try to play the 1 ball off the 8, because he called 1 ball, which is pretty an obvious shot if he's going to try to make it. Let's see. Yeah, that's exactly what he did. Did beautiful.
It made sure he avoided that scratch, huh?
Yeah.
And having the 8 ball there made that pocket pretty big. So it was a big.
Still not an easy shot to judge that much of the 1 ball going into the 8. Call the 8 ball. It's going to be a double combination.
I also like following the cue ball underneath the 10 up against the 8.
That's what I thought about.
Yeah, that's.
But he is playing more aggressive.
And
it didn't work out.
He's given up control. Yeah, that. The reason for the aggression there and going for that 3 ball combination is whatever he leaves Fedor doesn't mean that Fedor can handle it. Unless he's right up against it, it's so he wants to keep Fedor in that chair. That's the safest place for him, isn't it?
I think so. And without the jump cue.
That's why. Yeah, because that jump cue, he jumps as good as anybody in the world, if not better. Fedor does have the highest ranking in the Pro Billiard Series ranking, which combines his Fargo with his tournament events. Any performance, he gets certain points for wherever he ends up in every tournament. And so he's rated number 1 out of 374 players, where Oscar is 142, but Fedor's played 8 events, Oscar's played 3. So big difference there.
Extension, please.
Oscar is yet to cash. Fedor's cashed in every one. The Pro Billiard Series is going to claim him as a dependent. He's made so much money off these events.
But you know, it's never enough.
Yes, that's right. No matter how much it is, it's just not quite enough.
Especially if you stay for 3 weeks in Vegas. Alright. So straight in the 7. And seems like there shouldn't be any issues to
No, this is
win the table.
pretty straightforward here. It's making your job very easy, Christina.
Yeah. Watch out that short, because it's all ball faults. And if you touch the 10 ball with his short, it's going to be a fall.
And a pretty much unmissable 10 ball to go ahead 3-0. Giving Mr. Dominguez 1 up to the table, and he failed on that 3-ball combination. We're going to take a 1-minute break, folks, as referee Dwayne Payne racks the balls. Be right back. We are back to the live action with Fedor GORST breaking rack number 4. Christina Tkach in the booth with me if you just joined. This is George Teachow. 3rd round match. Winner qualification. Winner here moves on to the final 32. The loser goes to the 1-loss side. Oh, looks like this time he did not make the 1, and he's left it open for Oscar. Oscar to come to the table.
As you can see, he hit it a little bit from a different side than he wanted to. So, not really quite an open table, because there's some difficulties to come from 1 to 2 and from 3 to 4, because I think 4-ball doesn't pass the 6 to go on the side, so maybe it does from this angle. You could see it better. Still some work to do.
Oscar is every bit the master technician at running these balls. And like you said, with that 4-ball going on the side, it's a stop shot on the 3, so he just has to get down by the side pocket to get nice and tight on this 3, and he should. It's a tough shot in the side pocket though. He's hung the 2-ball. And that's where you have to really control it, is little mistakes like that against a player like this are extremely costly. It might cost him 3 racks.
You're right.
This one and probably another one and possibly one after that.
Maybe he was trying to focus more on the cue ball position than the pocketing itself.
Well, now we'll see about this 6-ball. If it doesn't go on the side, I think Oscar will come to the table with a lot of green on the cue ball. The 6-ball will be married up to it.
But it seems like it does go. Just a little stop and perhaps a little draw shot in here. Okay, let's see.
If it does go, he has to make sure he doesn't slide by that 6 and get hooked on the 5. Of course, that would never happen, but
No, you're right.
for some of the amateur players,
And it seems like he's playing a safety.
he's playing safe all the way.
Played it beautiful.
Took away the kick from underneath. He has a spin between the 9 and the 10. Did he go to the jump cue?
I think he's going to jump into the rail and kick it from behind. He called the 4 ball in a corner, not the 5.
And unfortunately, the 4 ball dressed up for Fedor. And this is another one of those racks that making this ball, bumping the 9. They straighten on the 6 and the side. I didn't bother with that. It wasn't lined up. And now you see how easy this opens up for him.
Two unforced arrows from Oscar, and suddenly Fedor is halfway to win the match. Sometimes, you know, what happens in the blink of an eye. You just started and then you find yourself 4-0 down, and it's not like you did a lot of wrong things, just a couple of mistakes here and there. You said extremely costly.
Yeah. And the spectators are from the USA Pool League and the BCA Pool League, part of the CSI Expo here at the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino. 7,000 league players have. Oh, that ball was missed. Finally, a little weakness from Fedor. Just a little missed shot. And that's what Oscar needs to put a little more gas in his tank and take a shot at giving Fedor a run for his money.
Oscar's taking extension, making sure after staying in the chair for quite some time, he can come back and clean the table. And 10 ball to close the gap.
And with the spectators, we have 4 ballrooms with 300 plus Predator 7-foot tables. We have 18 Predator 9-foot tables for the pros to play on in this World 10 ball. Vendors in this main ballroom they have everything you might want in pool: cue repair, accessories, cue sticks, booths by some of our biggest suppliers, sponsors, Jam Up Apparel, Predator Cues, Kamui, Cyberts, Rums de Puerto Rico, Medalla Light, and Oscar Dominguez breaking the balls and losing the cue ball. Straight in the pocket, nothing touched it. Unfortunately for Oscar, it went straight off the side of the 1 ball. And now Fedor's going to come back with a little revived focus, huh, after missing that ball.
He better do.
You heard it here first. He better come with it, she says. So do you and Fedor have an agreement for every missed ball he has to do 50 push-ups, 20 push-ups? What is
No.
this?
No, we're
No?
not really, you know, being involved in each other game unless somebody asks to, because it's can be sometimes too overwhelming when you play pool 24/7 and you watch it and you know, cook in this environment all the time, and then somebody give you unwanted advices, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, so we just keep this line.
You have a line not to cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like we really made this agreement. It's you know,
Just
it's
understood.
very naturally a
Mhm.
thing. I think a lot of couples who both playing pool will understand me.
Yeah, this is great having you in sit in for the fans and for me too. And as I've told you, if my wife is watching, she just loves you too. She calls Fedor my boy, and she thinks you're the cutest thing in life.
It's very sweet.
Seeing you both in Arizona twice.
So better looking at the 6 ball, and if it passes the 9, I'm not quite sure. But if he played position to the 5 ball like that, he probably thinks he does.
Yep.
So, and he made it good enough to try his best to squeeze the 6 ball in between the 9 ball and a cushion.
If it doesn't pass, he may have a billiard on the 9 or a roll up on. Oh, this is awfully tight.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Our camera people, a young man named Mogan and then Clementine, taking a look at these angles and giving us the best views they possibly can. And you can see there it is barely enough. What a great view we had there at the end.
Looking at Fedor's face, he's not quite happy, or
Well,
he's surprised
yeah,
he didn't end up straight as he wanted to.
well, exactly. When you play shots to the side pocket, if you don't get the right angle, now he's got to run the cue ball around 3 rails, and the 8 ball blocks the corner pocket for the natural 3 railer. So he's going to come all the way around and probably play it. He's going to bump in the side. Yeah, that's what I was thought. A little bit harder. He's fine. He's laughing. Yeah, but you can see the 9 ball was blocking the natural 3 rail position. So he had to go past it.
You know, when every time you watch these matches, you think, dang, why they wouldn't just play it a little harder? It's so obvious table is playing slow, just play it harder. But when you're out there yourself, I can tell you it's not easy.
And the other thing about playing that shot harder, he could go by and get behind the 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's traveled in it quite a bit.
I think a lot of players used to play in a very slidey, fast cloth, and a lot of players still struggling to feel the speed of the table. Nevertheless, Fedor made the 8 ball in, 9 ball in, and 10 ball. To extend his lead to 3 racks.
Stealing Oscar's break from a scratch in the side pocket. We'll go to a 2-minute break and be right back for you. Stay tuned. And we're back to the WPA World and it's a World 10-Ball Championship. We're streaming 2 tables, and on this table you have Fedor GORST and Oscar Dominguez. On table number 2, we have Ekling Kachi and Koping Chung, 2 previous champions to this event, battling it out. And again, he's broken the balls, and it looks like nothing's going to go in. An open shot for Oscar Dominguez to try to make up some distance as he trails by 3 games, 4-1.
Oscar looking at the spot where to land the cue ball. It's not really an easy position for the 2 because 9 and 6 blocking the way for the 2 ball, so he has to be pretty accurate with this one. Precise. As you can see, way too short.
He had to come back another foot, didn't he?
Yeah.
Be able to cut that 2
It's
ball
not
down
an
the
easy
rail.
shot when you have to draw for quite some distance and also guess an exact spot where the cue ball has to land.
Yeah, when you're playing him right where he has his fingers is where he'd like to have been. Now he's going to have to try to kick it 2 rails and slide. He could call it in the side. He could call the 2 ball in the side off the 9, but he could also kick it past them and have a safety. If he hits it full and the cue ball stays there, he's going the other way. He's going on the
He's
other
trying
side of
to
it. Tie it up.
tie it up.
Well, there is a 3-foul rule, but don't think Fedor will even consider that. He wants to lock Oscar up and then take ball in hand and run out. Will he travel behind the 5 or over behind the 3?
Maybe behind. Okay. He definitely did not want to bump into the 5, I think.
Yeah, but that 7 ball really causes Oscar a lot of fits here. He doesn't really have an avenue without really spinning the ball quite a bit. As you can see, he's going around the 10, trying to spin back towards the 2. And now he's on 2 fouls.
Well, now I think Fedor definitely will try to hook him to win the game with 3 fouls committed by Oscar Dominguez.
Three consecutive fouls constitutes loss of game. By the 3 consecutive fouls by the same player.
He's looking at the thin cut on 2 and probably try to hide the cue ball behind the 3.
Just
no.
going up there, making it
Yeah.
very hard for him to spin the ball back into the 2. See, now he has to spin around the 6, hit between the first and middle diamond on the bottom rail, and go into the 2 or come in 2 rails like he is. This is a very natural angle for this shot and a high percentage hit. But he hasn't, and that will cost him the game.
3rd foul, it is a game.
And now Fedor has broken run twice. 3 fouled Oscar. And leads 5 games to 1 in a race to 8. And there's no worse feeling than getting 3 fouled.
No. There is worse feelings, believe me.
There is?
There is much more. Scratching in a hill on a 9 ball. I've done it once. What's the I couldn't leave my room for the next couple of days. It was in China Open, I think in 2019. I was playing with a Chinese girl on a TV table, and I've made a comeback, and we played, yeah, for the last 16, and on a hill I scratched on a 9 ball. So
Ouch.
there is much more, you know, out there.
There's the 1 and the 8 into the side pocket. Not sure he has an open shot on the 2.
Well,
If he
looking
doesn't,
at his face
yeah.
expression, it does not.
Well, he's come back with the jump cue and his playing cue.
And I think he's playing the jump shot.
Fedor jumps as good as, if not better than, anyone in the world.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to leave him any open jump shot. That's exactly what he showed us. Now he gotta make sure he's not going to hook himself behind the 10 or any other balls. Maybe try to run into the 10 ball just to be secure. I'm not sure how big of an angle he got, but he definitely doesn't want to run into the 7 because there's might be a big chance of hooking himself behind the 10.
I think he's going to end up just perfect on this shot.
Just oof. Well,
Ooh.
got a little fortune in here.
Not sure. Can he get by the 10?
I'm sure he does. Yeah, he wanted to catch this 10 ball, as you see.
See that? Oh, yeah, it looks like he can go by there.
Yeah, well.
Field goal right between the 6-9.
Yeah. Even if you're going to bump into the 9, you're very unlikely going to hook yourself. But if you're going to hit the 6 ball, there's a big chance you're going to hook yourself. Very focused.
That's one of his strengths.
You're right.
How does he? Do you know how he keeps his mental focus as strong as it is? Does he work at it? Does uh-oh.
Hooked.
Speeds off just a little bit.
Do you think he wanted to stop in front of the 9 ball or go further?
Well, the way he hit it and the way he looked at it, I think he wanted to go further.
That's what I think.
Yeah, one more roll of the ball and he's good.
Yeah. But he's taking his jump shot, jump cue, one more time. He's very... oh. I wanted to say he's very likely to make the ball. He was very close.
Totally agree. I'm kind of a little bit surprised that he missed it, but it didn't work out too bad for him. I think if Oscar chooses to be offensive here, he's going to have to cut this ball. I mean, bank this ball.
I think he's
To
playing
a safety. He's playing safe.
think card of the 7 behind the 9.
He's going to hit the 9 and ruin his safe. He's going to get right up. Ooh, he hit it, trying to get behind it.
Cut the 7 ball way too thick, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I think answering to your previous question, it's more of his life mindset.
Okay.
It's not even about pool. He's just so logical. And I'm not saying he's emotionless, but he's whenever he has any problem, the question is, how can I solve it? not even for a second he's going to feel pity for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Why it's happening to me, like I do sometimes. I have to admit,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and he's like, right away, how can we fix it? What can we do to not make it happen? And he's just so percentage in everything he does. He just knows, well, I'm breaking better than this guy, I'm jumping better than this guy, and my position playing is better than this guy, so he has to be very lucky to beat me. He's just so confident, and it's not like overconfidence and arrogance. He just knows where his game is.
Are you familiar with? We're going to go to a break, and then we'll just continue this conversation. Be right back. And we are back. And back to that logic you were talking about. You know, to me, you just described Mr. Spock in Star Trek.
Yeah, you know, it's as a girl, to be honest, it's sometimes even annoying how calm and logical he is. Whenever have drama, it's just so, you know, mature. You know, it's not a bad thing, of course.
No, he's
not
22
complaining.
and to have that maturity, and
Yeah.
it's a strength. It's a, like as you mentioned, it's a life strength.
It's yeah, it's his just life mentality, and that's why whenever he's playing, he's just not expecting much of himself. Just do his job. You know, it's a very
Right.
important skill to acquire.
Meanwhile, he didn't make the one, but he did make the 4-ball in the side pocket with a shot on the one. So let's see if he goes 3 rails with a little bit of right-hand English and the cue ball right at the 5. Short rail, long rail, underneath the 9, right at the 5 to get to
Yes,
the 2.
as I mentioned, he's not a favorite of slow roll shots, so I would suggest he's going for something like what you just described.
Except there, that's exactly what he was going for, but he got a little high. He was trying to hit just past the side pocket, or even just very close to the side pocket.
Clock, please.
Big break for Oscar. And we'll see how Fedor lets those shots go. Does he let him go right away in his mind?
I don't know that. I mean, I
Okay.
don't live in his mind. I know some things, but
A lot of players, when they make a mistake like that, they'll focus on, how could I do something like that, and then they'll dwell on it. Other players shake their head
it's
once.
Not, yeah, it's not
Yeah.
about Fedor. He thinks why it happened, and then he just,
Don't do it again.
just don't do it again.
Okay. Big break for Oscar to put another X on his scoreboard there. Need this combo. Oscar looking good with these.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a little uncomfortable now since he's 1-6 down, but I believe he's going to run out this table because there is no obstacles. And for such a top player as Oscar Dominguez, he shouldn't face any problems in here.
Looking very good through this rack. Now it's just a matter of getting on this 9-ball. And easy for the 10.
He's most likely going to stun with a little bit. Oh, if he has not that big of an angle, he can do a shot like this. But I didn't like the shot because if you're gonna create way too much angle for yourself like he did, it's not really a natural position. And if he would go just 2 rails and try to bring the cue ball on a different side of a 9 ball, even if he's going to create a lot of angle, he still has a pretty natural position into the 10. And now he has to work for that.
Yes, now he has to avoid. I think I would just go ahead and shoot the 9, cut it in the corner, and run into the 10. Because otherwise it's too much work and it could detract from his accuracy. And he measured that. He measured you to go on the other side, that side of the 10, and come and wrap out. And he was going to settle for this cut shot right here.
That was a nice recovery shot. And 10 ball finds the pocket for Oscar to get his second rack in this game.
One of the things to look for in the crowd, folks, is you can see the teams are here. There's 4 people wearing the same color shirt, which tells you they're probably on the same team. Right behind them in the stands there was another 4 in blue shirts, 4 or 5. And you'll see that throughout the rest of the event with the teams here. They'll sit together, watch their favorite player, get autographs, take pictures. How often are you stopped walking down the halls for a picture?
Well, I leave my room 30 minutes before to get in here, just in case. And it's a cool thing. I truly enjoy it. It's like, you know, I don't feel myself as a, like, kind of pool celebrity though. I'm just, you know, someone who's just playing pool and trying my best. And it's really nice to see how many people is supporting you. And
well, you are an up-and-comer. You're doing very well and having a lot of success on the women's tour.
And it's a dry break. Unfortunate for Oscar Dominguez because he left straight in 1 ball and very open table for Fedor to run out. And if the 2 ball passes the 7, I don't see any problems in here.
And if it doesn't, you would just draw back for it?
Yeah, the only difficulty he has in here that he has to be a little elevated to play off through or above the 6 ball.
Making it easier for the draw shot than the follow shot, because he could follow forward 2 rails, and that looks like what he's doing. But he could be drawn. If he draws it, he's good.
Maybe try to draw it back to place 2nd ball in the center pocket. Oh no, he just as I said, if 2 ball passes the 7, there's no need to play a harder shot and take more risks to miss the 1 ball.
And he looks like he's laying right up on it, so oh yeah, it goes by no problem. Only guy that can't see that it goes by is me.
Playing 3 ball and try to come off the rail a little bit, not too far, to play 4 ball in the side pocket, just like that. Have again very natural angle to go for the 5 ball, and 6, 7, 8, 9, very standard position. So I think he shouldn't have any problems in here.
And as Christina said, there's this looks like a pretty standard run out for Fedor, and the ball leads to each other, so there's rotation. I'll walk you through some of the scores going on. You have Junling Chang trailing Mario He 2-3. These are all races to 8. Moritz Neuhausen, who's had a very good tournament, tied with Oliver Solnoki. Mika Immonen trails Vitali Patsuda 3-2. Alex Montpellier 4-1 over Wu Kun Lin, and Marco Tucher 4-1 over Toru Kurobayashi. Joshua Filler leads Yukio Gariyama 5-2. Veteran deadline still, so I'll just keep reading some of these on. Petri Makinen, who put Koping Yi into the one loss side, leads Alex Pagulayan 4-2. Mateos Nigaki 5-0 over Ruben Batista from Mexico. Naoyuki Oi 4-1 over Lin Han To. Gural Simon 6-1 over Talal Albushi. And Koping Chung, we must have a problem with that because he's still 1-0 over Eklund Kachi.
Yeah, I think he's 4-2 up over Eklund Kachi.
Okay, so I wonder what might. And then we have Torsten Homan 5-3 over Konrad Yushushin. Dennis Grabe 4-3 over Jan van Liedrup. Shane Van Boning leads Mark Biesterbach 3-2. And Lee Van Corteza leads one of the hottest players in pool, Francisco Sanchez, 5-2. And now, perfect timing for this 10 ball.
To get on the hill.
To get on that number 7, needing one more. He's broken run twice. He 3-fouled Oscar once. They battled a little bit in a couple of games, and he came out victorious. But Oscar scraped for 2 games, along with 2 unforced errors. Both players having a little fun and a little conversation with some of the spectators. Dwayne Payne, our referee, hands Fedor a very clean cue ball. Breaking for the one in the side, right in, 2 ball. Oh, that's 7 ball again. It's the 7 ball that stopped them earlier too, right?
Yeah.
From the 3rd rack in a row.
So unfortunate, making 3 balls on the break.
and stuck up close behind the 7. Because I'm sure if he was a little bit away from him, he'd jump it for the 3. But the 5 balls tied up also. It'll make for a real nice safety. He's just going to challenge Oscar with this shot against the rail here.
Your options, sir?
And Oscar's thinking, can I make this or do I let him shoot it?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not.
almost like a teasing your opponent. Can you shot it or not?
Well, that's exactly what that is, especially in a case like this, because there's nowhere to jump it or anything.
It's a straight in pocketing. There is no scratch.
So Oscar has to think, do I make this or do I let him take a shot at this? With speed, that cue ball is going to come straight up towards the 5. He's giving it back.
Giving it back.
Danger here is to scratch in the upper left-hand corner pocket. But if he doesn't, he's got a very easy safety on this 5 ball. 2 railing it out of there and stopping the cue ball behind by the 8 there. This could scratch if he hits it just a little bit thick.
Do you think so?
If he hits it thick, if he makes it, no. If he makes it, the cue ball could scratch right where it's at right now.
I think if 3 ball is pretty low to scratch, so
He overcut it. And so, good decision by Oscar to put Fedor back in on that shot. Tough shot, especially being against the rail.
It's definitely a tough shot. Well, Oscar has another opportunity.
Oh, he's got a shot on the 5. He can pocket the ball.
Can pocket the ball and I believe bring the cue ball into the same spot as the 5 ball to shoot 6 ball into bottom right corner. Now he decides to play a safety. Open up 6 and 8. Is Fedor going back for the jump shot?
Looks that way.
Balls are pretty close to each other,
Yeah,
though.
that's 2, maybe 3 inches.
Well, I guess he can afford with a height like he does, because I can just elevate my cue that much. Still good effort,
Very good effort.
but I believe left straight in 5 ball for Oscar.
And Oscar's made 2 good decisions this game to put himself in a position to put a 3 on the scoreboard with his man on the hill.
He's taking some time to make sure he approaches the ball well.
Oh, it's another miss by Oscar. He's missed 3
Very-
balls this match so far.
Your option, sir.
Unforced arrow.
And sometimes we just struggle.
Yeah, it's also a morning match. Might be lack of warm-up.
Well, Oscar has other things on his mind too. He's got two little girls, a 5 and a 2-year-old, back home in Sacramento. He's got a business that he runs, the pool room and the billiard supply store. Oscar, a Moscone Cup participant, part of the team in 2022, 2017. 778 Fargo versus Fedor's 835. And missing at least 3 balls in that match, you can't expect to have good results against Fedor GORST, master of the table.
All right.
Oh, and just as I say that, it's called the commentator's curse.
It's also very weird. He tried to bring the cue ball after past the side pocket instead of just trying to stand it. That's very surprising for me.
Yeah, instead of just using center, he was coming straight across. Yeah, just wanted to get very close to his work.
Why would you take any risk to scratch the cue ball in the side pocket when there's no need for that? Well,
I like the way he's looking at the table with one eyebrow lifted. And Oscar makes quick work of those. And not to be denied, he gets to break, knowing that he can afford to let Fedor back to the table, because that area you just saw from Fedor, you might not see the rest of 2023. And we're only in, what, March?
March. It's quite surprising. He let this focus slip away one more time. Same as on the previous 8 ball that he missed a little early in the match.
This is like I said, the 3rd day of the World 10 Ball. Tomorrow, all our matches will be races to 10 because they'll be in the final 32. The winner of this match goes to the final 32. And then I believe our semifinals are scheduled for 10 a.m., 1 p.m. with the final match at 6 p.m. on Saturday. And we are at the Rio, so if you have time to get to the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, come on down. It's free to get in. There's a lot of pros here. The best players in the world are here this week. And a lot of them are going to stay and stick around for the U.S. Open 8-ball and 10-ball championships being held at Griff's next week.
And Oscar has decided to break from a center of the table, which is pretty risky, as we talked already about, because there is a high chance he's going to leave a good position, open table, which he did. And now Federer has another chance to finish this match. Seems like 2-ball passes the 7 in a corner pocket. Now it's all the matter what to do with the 3-ball.
Extension, please.
He's got the, it looks like he has the angle to kind of slide to the left of the 7 and play the 3-ball just past the 9 in the corner pocket.
I think that's what he's looking at.
Oh, he does not have that angle.
Yeah, I think he's almost straight in.
Yep.
And the most he can do probably just stun really hard 2-ball and try to play the safety behind the 5. Just stop the ball. You can see he barely has an angle. Didn't take any chance. Just playing good defense shot.
And you called it right at safety on the 5. And look how nice and tight that is on the 5. When I leave a shot like that, in my mind I think to my opponent, jump this.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck.
And I can tell you it's not an easy kick as well. He might have to go 2 rails. Short bottom rail, long rail, and hope for the luck.
Well, I can see him going 1 rail right at it, and that's what he's lining up. The other option is to go 3 rails.
Or maybe go behind the 6.
In between the 6. He's going to hit. Oh, nice hit. And look at what he's going to come up with.
I think it looked out a little bit.
Well, if it didn't leak out, Federer's going to come to the table with a jump cue.
And as he didn't, he obviously can see the 3-ball to make it.
You know what I noticed about Federer in this match so far is he manages his time very well. Very well.
Yeah, but he's having a lot of experience playing on a shot clock, and he was practicing as well with the shot clock.
Okay,
so
perfect.
Okay, he followed this ball a little further than he wanted to. Now he has to put some little work in to get to the 5.
Think he'll just slide right by it and play the 5 to the side pocket over on the right
but
there?
he pointed out the cue to play the 5-ball in the same pocket as the 4-ball, just like that.
Oh, so he went above it. Okay.
It's pretty.
He didn't quite get there.
there.
Yeah.
It's way too short. Now he has to look for the safety. Thin cut the 5 and trying to bring the cue ball. Don't do that, no. Well, didn't go as planned, and I have a feeling he's just struggling to finish this match. He already missed a couple of very easy opportunities.
Yeah, he doesn't usually struggle much with the first or the last game. In fact, the last game usually comes on very strong. This gives Oscar another opportunity for another game. And it is winter break, so Oscar gets on a little bit of run, he could threaten Federer.
Yeah. I think it's a good time for Federer to take some time out, to exhale and come back with a fresh mind. Oscar is also a little short on the 7. It's definitely not the angle he would like to have.
Yeah, Oscar has not looked very comfortable at the table.
No. So now you gotta power the ball in or try to hold the cue ball. And both of these shots are not very comfortable.
Would like to come out just a little bit more, I think. Does not want to leave himself straight in here. Just come off the rail a little bit, just like this. He's a little straight, but I believe he can follow this 2 rails down for the 10. Nice smooth stroke. And down he goes for his 4th game on the scoreboard. He now trails 4-7 and breaking. He can close some ground pretty quick in this winter break format. Oscar Dominguez.
You're right, you never want to leave your opponent even a slight window to get into.
Moscone Cup team member in 2022, 2017. Oscar's only played 3 events on the Pro Billiard Series tour. 1 in Arizona and 2 in Las Vegas, the 2 big ones here in Vegas. Has yet to make a dime. And to get to the final 32, he could make at least 2,000 just getting there.
Oscar was trying to decide where to break from.
And leaning the balls in.
Yeah, another dry break and another opportunity for Fedor to capitalize and finish this match. Not the easiest opening shot on the 1 ball, but it's pretty natural angle to go for the 2 ball, so he doesn't really have to work much to get to the 2 ball, just focus on making this 1 ball.
Just rolling it in.
But as we know, again, he doesn't like really slow rolling the ball, but I don't think he will try to go and find some windows in between balls.
Well, if he wants to hit it with some pace, he could pocket the 1 and come down towards the 7 and to where the cue ball is now and shoot the 2 ball up table. You can hit it with a little bit stronger stroke.
It's a very risky shot, and I believe that's what he's going for.
That's exactly. And did he get behind the 8? No, it doesn't look like it. Oh, maybe. Better camera angle there. Well, if Oscar can see the top rail next to the 1, he can kick and stick this and try to kick the 1 ball to the rail between the 5-9 and have it come down by the 7-9. Looks so easy on the drawing board, but you have to hit it there.
You're right. And since it's new cloth and very clean balls, spin is not grabbing so much as you would like to. That's why kick and stick in here is not always 100% chance, but it seems like he sees the 1 ball.
He's cutting it. And he's not going to get a favorable roll there with that little clip off the 8. Sent him right behind the 7 ball. And the 4 ball is in the way for the long kick shot. He can go rail first. Tough shot, but I think it's better than jumping or any shot like that. I liked it. I liked it rail first with a little bit of draw, maybe stay behind the 3-8.
Yeah, that's what he tried to, but it didn't quite work as well as he wanted to.
Oscar well aware that shot clock kind of rushed that one.
So now Fedor has a very long 2-ball, and he wants to make sure he goes a little bit on the right side of it, because 3-ball is half blocked by the 8-ball.
And he's got a long shot on the 3 now. But pocketing this ball and coming up between the 8-6 is key.
Yeah, now it's just actually to make the ball and to take it with the right speed, really. There's no...
Yeah, he doesn't want to give up this game. He needs to close this match. This game could make Oscar a strong threat.
The momentum can just flip over. You don't want to do that. Very well played. Even with the bump into that 8-ball, he's still very, very fine.
He had to be unlucky to get a bad bump there.
Yeah. Bringing the cue ball off the short rail to where cue ball is perhaps now. Just maybe the 5-ball goes on the side.
And now it just opened up. Now it's just stop shots.
Yeah, a little draw for the 6 on the side. Anywhere good, but behind the 8-ball. A little surprised he didn't try to draw a little further. Maybe he's not taking any risks to go behind the 8, as I said.
The cloth being very responsive, he could get it rolling real quick. And this is all he really needed to come to where he is now for the 7. Now he'll come straight across where the cue ball is now for the 8 on the side, and he'll just iron the table there. Kind of like an ironing board.
Yeah.
And then get on the 9 to come down for the 10.
Good angle on the 8 to come up from the left side of the 9-ball.
And these 3 balls to move on to the final 32 for Fedor GORST. They're talking to each other with a smile. Oscar will go to the 1-loss side for a match over there. I think it's just one that he has to win over there.
Yeah.
And he'll get to the final 32, but Fedor GORST moves on. Good sportsmanship there by these two. And this is George THA and Christina Tkach.
Thank you guys, and see you later.
Thanks, guys.